Hello everyone, this is the Final Bosman, and on today's episode, I am a rock god. Welcome to the show. I am Kyle Bosman, and curtains are here now. I decided to practice what I preach. I decided to listen to the almost unanimous dislike for the old space background. It's still there, by the way. You can still... All Greens and Matrix are still there, checking out an actual spacecraft, while the rest of us, thank you, while the rest of us are just watching Final Bosman out here. Speaking of Final Bosman, let's start the show. You might remember during the summer, I took a week-plus vacation. I went home, I saw some weddings, I mini-golfed. I got to watch cable television. It was great. But at one point, my dad, my parents are selling my old house that I grew up in. And he said, hey, clean out your crap out of the garage. I'm gonna throw the rest away. So, to be fair, most of it is quote, crap. But I found a thing that I really like a lot. These are the basically daily planners that we got in high school. The school handed these out so we could keep track of our homework assignments, basically. Check this out. The cover is what stands out to me. This was 11th grade. This is my junior year. Two things stand out to me about this. One, I was super good at arts and crafts. That's all construction paper. Two, that's the Guitar Man star. I forgot how much I liked Guitar Man. That's pretty cool. And so I got my old daily planners back, and then a few weeks later, I did that episode about Frederick, the Resurrection of Music, a game which, by all measures, is worse than Guitar Man. And so I felt, you know what, it's time to play Guitar Man. And hard to find. After a fruitless and extensive search at local LA game stores and one fruitful and expensive trip to Amazon.com, I've been finally reunited with Guitar Man. And so, today's episode, Guitar Man is great, nostalgia glasses, or very practical contact lenses? I want to show you one more thing about this daily planner. I want to show you October 26th. Really funny thing here. 3-year anniversary, PS2. I used to celebrate console anniversaries. I used to take out all the games I had for that console, play a variety of them, and celebrate that console's existence on that day. What's weird is I can't find any anniversaries I had with girlfriends, which is crazy because I must have had dozens of girlfriends. But I don't celebrate console anniversaries anymore. That's not like a part of me, which is a strange feeling. And so I can acknowledge nostalgia is definitely an influence on why I would love Guitar Man so much. And so for this conversation to continue, I gotta rip that meat from the bone. We gotta talk about Guitar Man without talking about how much I love it, right? Let's talk about it as a game. Look at this game. This is a music dueling game. And I feel like there's enough music dueling games for that to be a genre. Look, you got 2 health bars. You got like 3 phases. You know, when you're attacking, you use the left analog stick to travel along this path. You press circle at the right times. When you're defending, you gotta just hit these buttons at the right time. And there's also charging, which will build your life up, controlled the same way as attack phases. There it is. That's what that game is. What's been interesting about playing Guitar Man again is that there's a lot of things in this game that I've talked about over the last year on this show that I love about video games. There's a lot here. It's all reinforced within this game. First and foremost, the story is important in Guitar Man. Meaning, I realize when I say story is important, a lot of people say, no, come on, man, video games are about fun, not story. In this case, the story leads to the game being more fun. That's always how I feel about it. Guitar Man does some things that should be really simple. Every video game should do these. A lot of these games F it up. The most important thing when telling a story is that your main character should change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. If your character doesn't change, the audience should have a different understanding of that character. That should be, otherwise why are you telling a story? That's number one thing. A lot of games don't do that. Another thing, why are we learning about this character? Why this person? Why is this the only person we can hear about? Guitar Man establishes that within the first 3 levels. Great, thank you. I guess I'm sour about this right now because of Destiny, and I ragged on Destiny last week already for its crummy story, but I've now seen the end of its story, or at least the story you paid $60 for. And in the end, you learn your character did not matter at all. When people say, the story in Destiny, I don't really like it, here's what you can just say, your character doesn't matter in that story, and that's the reason why it's not a good story. You are just one of many guardians. That world doesn't need you. Your friends could have easily beaten that last boss without you. They don't need you. The tagline for Destiny is become legend, and somehow they've created a world in which it is impossible to become legend. There's too many of you. You don't matter. You become legend in Guitar Man. Another thing I really like about what Guitar Man does is what I always love is story and game feeding into each other and building off each other, and it will mix up its format to make the story more interesting, you more invested, you caring more about hitting the circle button at the right time. Take for instance this level right here. I talked earlier about the 3 phases of Guitar Man. There's no 3 phases in this level. This level is only defense. You're in space, and there's a space shark chasing you. And that leads to more anxiety. You want to be able to attack, but you can't. This level right here, you can't transform yet, and so you have to scramble and dodge, and then when you finally do get your Guitaru, and you finally see U1 turn into Guitaru Man, you're pumped. Every other stage up to this point has led to the excitement and enjoyment of this moment. That's an incredible thing. This level right here, good lord, this was probably the most resounding memory to me from this game, but replaying it solidified to me what makes Guitar Man great. This level, there's no defense, there's no charging or anything. You are simply playing guitar for some woman you just met next to a tree on a beach, and that is the whole stage. And what's crazy about this to me is that this is probably the most intimate, romantic thing I've ever done in a video game. You think about like other RPGs or like Mass Effect, you're just like picking choices out of a dialogue tree, right? And even then Commander Shepard's just like, you're looking cute today, why don't we roll around in my bed in our underwear? Here, you are playing that guitar for that woman, right? And to me that's like, damn, that's romance, and it kind of is. And that's you playing that guitar, that is within the game that you are doing that. That's incredible. In the end, Guitar Man also has a message, and I always like it when games have an actual message. Here, it's kind of overt. The message is just, hey man, don't doubt yourself. Get rid of your doubts. There's no such thing as fate. Just go for it. Just go for it. I'm gonna go for it. Damiani, I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna fight for her.
Who?
The girl from the deli.
My girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, we moved in together.
So? What do you even like about her?
I mean, she's funny, she's courageous, and, well, I don't want to say it.
Just say it.
No.
Write it down. Oh, gross.
Hey.
Okay, that doesn't matter. None of that matters. All right? Because I believe in myself, and I'm gonna win her over, and she will be my girlfriend.
You need to stop. Women aren't prizes, they're human beings, and so am I.
Hey, bud, I had a question for you too. Did we get any amiibos yet? Did you want this left open or just leave it open? So I guess maybe the whole point of Guitar Man being that he comes back, wails on air guitar, knocks over his rival onto the ground, and snatches the wrist of this girl he likes. Maybe that's not the best message to end on. But it concludes the story. At that point, we have seen an evolution of the character from this to this, and we, the player, were responsible for that. And for that reason, it's stupid, but it's still powerful. Final verdict, Guitar Man 10.0, in parentheses, better than Frederick.
Oh, God damn it, Chopin!
That's the episode for this week. If you're on Twitter, you can find me at Kyle Bosman. I'll be back here next Wednesday. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. Hi everybody. So last week I got a lot of requests to re-explain the Final Bosman rules. And I think they come from episode 2. We're on 70 now, so I think it's only fair. Let's talk about these rules. Rule number 1, don't say the following words. This one, oh my gosh, we're not even gonna get into this one. I am allowed to say cool now, after an episode titled Too Cool for Titanfall, in which I bravely stood against Titanfall hype. I had to take cool back, it was too hard not to say. And of course I am allowed to say Mr. Mime because that curse has been broken. Number 2, don't touch your nose. Let me explain this. I have a bad habit of touching my nose anxiously, and that rule is there to prevent that. It is not there to prevent face palms. If I face palm and touch the side of my nose, that's not a nose touch. Get real. Also, there was someone who said I touched my nose last week. I gotta see evidence. I gotta see the nose getting pushed from force of a finger if I'm gonna count that as a nose touch. Of course, that is why Matrix and All Greens are on the spaceship. Okay, and then number 3, this is the weirdest one, which is actually the most important to me. When possible, talk about every game in the present tense. So, why that rule exists? It's because I feel like we move on from games pretty quickly. When someone says they've played Watch Dogs, they say, Watch Dogs was boring. No, Watch Dogs is boring. It still exists. You can still go buy and play that game. And I feel like this industry is designed in a certain way where we're meant to get over games. And part of it is our own fault. And I sort of want to work against that. A lot of what we're dealing with is just people who are just like, bought it, played it, what's next? It's frustrating. Hey, just enjoy what you have. If a game is old, it's okay to buy it. You can still buy old games. And they still exist. I can still go play Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma is pretty interesting, not was pretty interesting. All right, I should go. Talk to you all next week.